Another literary term we have is plot. Plot. When we hear plot, plot is like the chain or sequence of events. Plot is the chain or sequence of events in a narrative. Plot is the chain or sequence of events in a narrative. How were the events or the events that took place in narrative, how was it organized? The series of events, this before this, before this, before this. It is important that writers arrange this event in a logical manner. However you want to do it, just make sure that it is well arranged so that readers can pick it up and follow the storyline easily. A scattered or yes, a scattered arrangement or a scattered plot can lead to confusion on the part of the readers, and the intent of the writer may not be passed across. So the series or the sequence, the chain of events in the narrative is referred to as plot. Another literary term we have is theme. Theme, theme, theme. Theme is like the central idea. Let's put it down. Definitions. Theme is the central idea in a literary work, like the central thought. The major theme discussed in that literary work is the theme. So, like, it's just like saying, what is the book about? And then, if you're able to summarize it and say, okay, this is what the book is about, that is the theme. Whatever the writer is like trying to discuss, what the writer discusses extensively, majorly in that narrative or literary work is the theme. And the most common theme we have is good versus evil. The most common theme is good versus evil. In most literary works, what the writer is trying to like pass across, or the theme that most writers work on, is good versus evil. But others can include corruption. Other themes, sorry, you can have literary works on corruption, love, war, justice, redemption, what have you. So that's it. The central idea in a literary work is called the theme. And you can have examples such as corruption, love, war, justice, redemption. These are some themes that writers can work on. Then the next literary theme we have diction. Diction. Diction is simply the choice of words used by a writer. Diction is the choice of words used by a writer to convey an idea or like pass a message across. So it is very important the choice of words the writer uses. The writer will not be with the reader to explain or be like, ah, it's like you're not getting the point. So all the reader has is the literary work. So from your choice of words, the reader will be able to like understand. We all know the way, you know, the words you use when you're angry, you know the words you use when you are sad, just like that, like that. So the writer should also be mindful of the choice of words so he will not be misunderstood. Diction is very, very important in literary works. Up next, we have setting. Setting is the time, setting is the time and place in which a story occurs. It is the when and the where of that story. Most times it's usually introduced at the beginning. So writers can like have a good idea of what they're about to read. So if, for example, if the writer says it was set in like 1960s, 19 like the ancient times, you know what to expect. You will not be saying like computers and the rest as we have it now in modern times. So looking at the setting helps to create like mood and like anticipation of what you're about to get into. It also helps the writer with the plot. You know the things to incorporate and the things to leave out based on the setting of that narrative. So up next we have cast. Cast, another literary term. Cast can also be called dramatis personae. Cast is the name. It is the name used to refer all the characters in a literary work. Let's put it that way. We have looked at characters. We said characters are like imaginary persons in a literary work. So all the characters used, the one name for it is cast, or if you don't want to say cast, you say dramatis. Oh, sorry, this is a. So if you don't want to say cast, you say dramatis personae. All the characters in that literary work, we call them cast. Up next, we have background. Background. Background is the basis for a story's action. Background is the basis for a story's action. It is like the circumstances or like the situation, the even the motivation that gave rise or that led to the creation of that work, whether a play, a novel, a short story, a poem, whatever. The circumstances or the situation that led to the creation of that and the characters used and the choices open to those characters refer to it as the background. A good example now would be so many books in Africa or written about Africa has the background of the apartheid era. That apartheid era gave rise to lots of books. So that's an example of background. Then next we have anthology. An anthology is a collection of literary works by different authors. Having similar themes. Let's add it. So a collection of literary works by different authors, usually having similar themes. We will explain what theme is. Central idea in a literary work. So a collection of literary works by different authors. Take note, not by the same author, by different authors. for it to be an anthology, and it should have a similar theme. It could be a collection of poems, a collection of short stories, a collection of novels, as long as they were written by different authors. So we have it as anthology, and it should have a similar theme.